Ho ho ho, hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I am Robifire, back at it again with another video, and today we are going to be taking a look at another video game, because that's what we do on this channel, called Skyforge. Now before I get into it, first of all, I know most of the people who are probably going to watch this video are most likely going to be fans of Skyforge, so I'm not going to bore them with channel updates. But for those of you who aren't Skyforge fans watching this video, for all the Skyforge fans watching, just hang on just a little bit, because I just need to explain just a little thing, okay? Just one little thing, okay? Alright, so the little thing that I needed to mention was that I've actually already reviewed Skyforge on this channel. But I'm not exactly very proud of that video. I actually think it's kind of trash, and it's one of my worst videos I've ever made in my entire life. Like, really, I am not proud of this video at all, which is why I privated it, but it got a lot of views from the Skyforge community, and I didn't feel like I gave it a fair review. So, that is why I'm reviewing it once again to give a proper, good review of it, and yeah, for the Skyforge community and all that stuff, okay? And I know people are gonna say, oh, you're just doing this for views, because, you know, people still play Skyforge, and they're gonna watch this video, And, well, I am... Okay, so let's get right into the review. Alright, so what I would consider Skyforge, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure it's a massively multiplayer online role-playing game with light dungeon crawler elements. People might disagree with what genre this game exactly is, but that's what I would picture it as. Now, what exactly is my relationship with these type of games, you probably might be wondering right now. Well, for the most part, I do like myself, you know, RPGs most of the time, and also some online games too, like, you know, Call of Duty or something like that. But, in terms of this specific genre, I don't know if I'm not actually that big of a fan of it. And that's not to say that it's a bad concept, because it can be done well, like something like Diablo, I guess, because I think that's online. I haven't really played it, but I do know about it, and I'm pretty sure it was an online, like, RPG game, something like that. But more games like Warcraft, World of Warcraft, or something like that, I haven't really been the biggest fan of them, which is just because the genre hasn't even grabbed me. Like, most of my favorite games are my favorite because they have a lot of heart and passion put into them. Now, that's not to say that people who worked on these games didn't work hard, but most of the time, the objective isn't to have fun. It's just to fully complete every single thing and become the most powerful god ever, and become so powerful and, like, be so powerful, and you can eliminate every single person in your path. And I don't know, that sort of concept, it hasn't even grabbed me. And in this game, they literally say that you need to become a god. So, yeah, that sort of concept hasn't really grabbed me a whole awful lot. That's not to say that massively multiplayer MMORPGs have never grabbed me in the past, because, I mean, Warcraft, it is sort of this concept, but, you know, I haven't really played the game because I don't have money to pay a monthly subscription. But from what I've seen from it, I don't know, I guess it looked fine. And DC Universe Online is pretty much the only MMORPG I actually play, and that stems from the fact that it doesn't make you play with other people a whole awful lot. And this game doesn't really do that either, but yeah, I'll get into, you know, the gameplay and all of that later. But as for now, since it is a role-playing game, and, you know, RPGs are generally known for their expansive lore and really good stories, what's this one's? Well, it does have a story, and the story is that... Well, okay, so there's this, okay, the story is really complicated, so please don't get mad at me if I get anything wrong, because it's kind of complicated, so I'll try my best at explaining. Ninget, sorry about that little thing. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so basically in this world called Alien, there are like these gods, or I think there's just one god, and one day he just goes bye-bye, and then he like gives his power to a select few people, and then they like basically gain godlike abilities and have to learn how to use their godlike abilities responsibly, and they have to protect this world from like evil monsters and stuff who have come to invade it since the gods have disappeared, and it's your job to stop them. Okay, so the story is kind of complicated, but it's not as complicated as I made it out to be. It's pretty simple to understand, you know, the basic elements of it. And also the genre of it, I think it's actually pretty interesting. I mean, it's sort of like sci-fi and fantasy, you know, mixed together. And, you know, that genre hasn't really been done a whole awful lot before. So, you know, I do really like that. Now, anyways, you guys don't care about the story. You guys care about gameplay. So, let's talk about that. Okay, so as for the gameplay, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's an MMORPG, which is basically like it's co-op with dungeon crawler elements, which is pretty much you move from different locations on the map and you pretty much fight your way through a linear area, you know, and eventually you reach a boss and then you fight them. So yeah, what do I think of the gameplay? Well, for the basic gameplay, which is a part of, like, the dungeons, I'm just gonna call them dungeons, even though most of them aren't actually dungeons, I'm just gonna call them dungeons. For most of the dungeons, I would say that the gameplay is actually pretty good. I mean, I actually like it. It's combo-based, fighting gameplay, and, you pretty much just fight different enemies and stuff, and, it's pretty fun, especially when you become pretty powerful. It's also pretty fun, and I just like moving through the dungeons and stuff. So yeah, I would say that the gameplay is pretty good. But unfortunately, this is another reason why I don't like MMOs. It's not for fun. People don't play it for fun. They play it to become an extreme god, and yeah. So every single time you do one of these dungeons, you gain like loot and stuff, and you gain currency and stuff. And since you basically are trying to be a god in this game, basically gain followers who pretty much just follow your teachings and stuff. And you do that by using the in-game currencies and loots that you bring. Now, this system of leveling up, I don't like it, okay? It's far too complicated, and I really think they should have done it in a more simple manner. But yeah, basically you use all this currency and stuff to upgrade certain things, and every single time you upgrade them, you level up your prestige, which in turn makes you more powerful, gives you new abilities and stuff. And you can also use the in-game currencies to unlock new classes. Now, as for this, I actually kind of like it, because most of the time, if you want to, I don't know, just try another class or try something different, you either have to use actual physical money to buy it, or you have to completely start over and create a new character. But in this one, I like that they just introduced it as a part of the game to have different classes and stuff, and yeah. But yeah, at the beginning you do have to pick only in between like 3, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, you don't really exactly, you do keep it for a while, and then once you know, level up, you get to unlock more and more, you know, things. So yeah, I really think this leveling up system is way too complicated. They should have just made it a lot more simple, and you know, yeah, I sort of just don't like that thing. And also, one thing that I just like to mention, which is, this is also in a lot of MMOs, MMORPGs, once you become really powerful, you just, that's exactly what happens. You become really powerful. Rather than, you know, going through each dungeon, getting a good challenge, you just breeze through them real quickly so you can level up more faster. And this I don't really understand. Like, if there's no challenge and you do everything so easily, and then you just level up, for what reason? That's, like, for what reason do you level up? Just so you can become even more powerful and make it more easy? Now, that's not to say that it's not fun to be super powerful. Because, yeah, it is actually pretty fun to be super powerful. It really is. I really liked it when I got to see all of the abilities that my character could do and how powerful he could become. It was really fun.
But after a while, everything just got so easy, and I was just like breezing through everything, and I wasn't even getting like a good challenge. Now, sometimes games could be ridiculously hard and unfair for literally no reason, and those are the type of games that I hate. But if a game just gives, and most of those are actually pretty bad, and it's the game's fault that they're bad. But some games, you can clearly tell that it's just challenging, and it's not the game's fault. Those are the type of games that I prefer. But yeah, as I said earlier, it doesn't mean that being super powerful isn't fun, because it does become fun for a while, but sometimes I did find myself hoping for a little bit more of a challenge. And yeah. But that is not to say that there was no challenge at all, because in order to actually become that powerful, you did have to work really hard, and yeah, that was pretty challenging. Attempting to get all the currencies and stuff, attempting to level up and gain your prestige. So yeah, it was challenging to actually be able to do that, gain enough currencies and stuff. So it wasn't a breeze throughout the whole game, because for most of it, yeah, it was pretty challenging. And for most of the combat gameplay and just all the things, all the dungeons and stuff, the bosses, I really liked it. I really liked the gameplay and combat and stuff. It's just I don't like the leveling up system, and when you become way too powerful, it's just not really that fun if you become way too powerful. But then again, it is still fun if you become that powerful. I'm just saying, sometimes it just becomes just a little bit, yeah. And this is kind of a shame, because they could have actually done something pretty creative in terms of the gameplay with the fact of how powerful you can become and stuff. They could have really toyed around with that concept. Because you see, in another game, which isn't exactly the same type of gameplay, it uses the concept of being very powerful, called Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Because you see, in this game, it involves the Venom symbiote, and at one point in the game, Spider-Man gets the black suit. Now, if you don't know, the black suit is evil, and it makes Peter do evil things, and is really bad, but he just can't stop using it, because it makes him really powerful. And that's also in the gameplay. The gameplay, they made you be so powerful, and it becomes really fun to be super powerful. But you wouldn't want to do this, because the black suit makes Peter evil, and it makes him do generally evil things, but the gameplay is so fun. And even in terms of the story, Peter wants to use a black suit because of how better of a superhero it is, but he also wants to get rid of it because it makes him evil. See, that's a really cool concept, and it toys with the fact that you can become really powerful in some games. And, this one just, makes you not want to use it, but at the same time makes you want to use it. It blew my mind when I figured it out. And since in this game you become a god and stuff, they could have, I don't know, put a spin on the whole concept and done something like this. But they didn't, and instead we got this game. Now, I know I've made it sound like the combat and gameplay is bad. I mean, the leveling up strategy, I really don't like it. It might not be confusing for some people, but for me, it was just super confusing to figure it out. And I was getting stuck. I got stuck on this one level forever. And then I had to look up a tutorial, find out what's going on here. And I realized that I had to level up manually and do my prestige and all that stuff, and empty my inventory and stuff, and it was really confusing. And yeah, but as in terms of the regular gameplay in the actual dungeons, it's pretty good and fun for the most part. Even when you become too powerful, it is still fun in terms of how powerful it is, and seeing how powerful you actually are, and it does help you level up and stuff. Now, while I don't like that sometimes it could get not challenging, it's still fun to be super powerful. So don't get me wrong when I say that. I'm just saying I would prefer if I had a challenge, but that doesn't mean it's not fun to be super powerful as well. Now, if you come to this game expecting to get a bunch of unique stuff and get a really unique combat system, just don't expect that, because the gameplay, it is fun, but it's not really anything new or unique. Like, I've seen it a lot of times in a lot of other games, ones that are similar to this one and ones that aren't. So I have seen this type of gameplay a lot of times, so don't expect
anything too new or innovative. Now you might be wondering, how have I gotten through this entire video without mentioning the character creator even once? Well, my dear viewer, I'm about to talk about the character creation.
Now, as for the character creator, I would say that, it's pretty good, I guess. The way I like my character creators in RPGs is to not be too limited and to not be too advanced, so somewhere in the middle. And as for this one, it does sort of lean into it being too advanced, but at the same time, I still like it, and I was able to create a character that I actually like. And I'm pretty sure you guys will be able to create a character that you guys actually like too. So yeah, overall, I would say that the character creator is pretty good in terms of the classes you can pick and just the way you can make your character look. I mean, it is pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I realized that I made this footage that I'm using right now be just a little bit longer than I needed, so I'm just gonna stall for a while. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, it's over. Anyways, so I guess that's pretty much it. I know I didn't cover absolutely everything since it's a pretty complicated game, and yeah, it's just a pretty complicated game, but I hope you guys still enjoyed this video. Rather, you're just one of my subscribers watching this, someone who just randomly stumbled upon this video and decided to watch it, or the most obvious answer, someone who is either looking to play Skyforge and wants to know if it's good, or has already played Skyforge and wants to know somebody else's opinion. So yeah, if you're wondering what I would rate it a solid 7 out of 10. Yep, and I just put probably the thing on the screen of my rating, because for some reason I haven't been doing that. But yeah, I just put it up there. Hopefully I did, because if I didn't put it up there, I'm gonna look really stupid. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.